So the iPhone 16 Pro Max is 2 weeks old, and in that period, there's been a lot of backlash, which it rightfully deserves, as there is a lot of similarities between this and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Most people can't even tell the difference. However, my experience with this has been slightly different. So let's talk about it and highlight the reasons why I would recommend this to the average consumer, as well as the issues that the average consumer may face down the road. But before we even go further, I'd like to thank PITAKA for sponsoring this video. They sent over the Sunset and Moonrise and Star Peak collection from the tactile woven cases, and a standout feature for me is how durable these cases can get. It's made from aerospace level aramid fiber, which is a super light, ultra strong material that's tough enough for military use. With fusion weaving technology, these cases aren't just durable, they look really good. I've had a few comments while rocking them outside with its eye-catching patterns and whatnot, all while keeping that slim and sleek look. And speaking of having a sleek look, the camera ring features a minimalist yet premium titanium color that enhances the protection with full coverage at the top and reduced exposure at the bottom. The grip texture makes sure your phone stays secure in your hands, and at just 0.88mm thick, it feels like you're not even using a case. Plus, the built-in magnets are 10% stronger than before, making it MagSafe compatible and perfect for all your favorite accessories. Also, bonus points, if you're looking to go even slimmer than what they're already providing, you can go for the PITAKA Ultra Slim case that comes in black and comes in gray. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, there's a link in the description below, and thanks again to PITAKA for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, my name is Coinsola, but you can call me KJ. One of the best features of the iPhone is not even a feature that is specific to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you have multiple Apple products, the 16 Pro Max becomes much more powerful and makes your workflow a lot better, especially how it communicates with other Apple devices. Like the new iPhone mirroring feature, for example, which basically gives a user the ability to use their iPhone directly on their computer. So this has helped me in some cases where my phone was charging or I left it in another room entirely while I'm working. I can just communicate with my phone without even holding it, which works well with my daily life. Or just using the copy and paste feature where if I wanted a specific website or a specific line of text on my phone, but I'm using my computer at that moment, I can easily just copy said text or website to the iCloud clipboard of my MacBook Studio and easily just paste it to my phone with ease. Now, in the last few weeks, the ecosystem has helped my creative workflow from editing on Final Cut Pro to sending that video through AirDrop to my phone and then posting it on Instagram. Now, the ecosystem has grown over the last couple of years, and after talking to a few people, I think this is one of the biggest reason, or if not the biggest reason, why people prefer to use an iPhone over an Android phone. And maybe iMessage, I guess. Now, the iPhone generally is super user-friendly, but now it's kind of 50-50. Now, with the addition of customizations, widgets, dark mode, color icons, and all that stuff that happened on iOS 18, Apple is slowly turning into an Android phone. Now, hear me out for a sec. Apple and its users pride themselves on being different. They don't care what the competition is doing, but slowly, they're conforming. First, it was the bigger and bigger display. Next, it was adding widgets and customizations to the home screen. And now, users have the ability to go crazy with how they want their phones to look. This has been a change that's been coming for a very long time, but it just further negates opinions on how Apple used to be before and how they want to do things their own way. But that is not the case in 2024. So they might still be user-friendly, but so is any phone in the world. And since we're on the topic, the performance has been pretty consistent over the last 2 or even 3 weeks, which is no surprise. Now, whether you're getting this phone to make content, play a ton of video games or mobile games, it's usually very snappy, and I've not had any issues performance-wise in that period. The biggest thing relating to performance that most people need to be concerned about is its software. While iOS 18 has been stable for the most part, there have been instances where a little bit of bugs, so to say, have occurred. Like the display being unresponsive in some instances. I've had situations where the camera freezes when recording video, especially with this ultra-wide lens. This particular one doesn't happen a lot, but there has been instances of battery drain, amongst other things that have occurred. They just pushed out an update with iOS 18.0.1 to fix these bugs, so it just remains to be seen if this will actually work. Currently though, I get comfortably 7 hours of screen on time, sometimes 8 if I'm just mindlessly scrolling on my phone on different social media apps. That translates well if you're a conservative user, but after 2 weeks, my battery capacity is still at 100%, which is no surprise. I mean, it's still 2 weeks old, but I hope that it is nothing like the 15 Pro Max that had terrible battery capacity, with some users saying it is down to about 85 to 90% in about a year. Most people are going to use their phones for the next 3 to 5 years, so I hope that the 16 Pro Max will hold up pretty well. I wonder if this is due to the internal issues, or maybe people just don't charge their phones properly. I charge mine with like a 67 watt charger, which I know is overkill because the 16 Pro Max just caps at 30 watts. Okay, let's talk about the design because it is one of the most important factors of the phone as you look at it every day. And if you're buying an iPhone in 2024, you already kind of know what you're getting. Only this time they added camera control. Now the iPhone's new button is more like a touchpad that gives you haptic feedback when you press it. One tap opens the camera, another is to take a picture, and if you hold it, it takes a video. No fuss really. I think the biggest compliment I can give this is the fact that I can just go into my camera straight from here without having any issues. But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think this is more of a detriment than a value to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. This gets in the way most of the time when I'm shooting. I press it accidentally, and even when I want to force myself to use it, it's very finicky. You have to really get used to the button itself, and it's not exactly the most straightforward thing. And this just goes back to when I said the iPhone is supposed to be user-friendly. This button right here doesn't exactly translate well. Hopefully the next couple of weeks this can turn into something different, but for now I feel Apple has definitely missed the mark with the control button. But apart from that, you're getting the same square shaped design, a slightly bigger screen that I actually kind of like. This is now 6.9 inches from about 6.7 with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and that is similar to the S24 Ultra, and that's really it. That is exactly what you're getting if you buy the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now if we're looking at the cameras, I think my biggest issue with the 16 Pro Max, or even the iPhones generally, is the native camera app. Now within the camera app itself, I wish Apple followed some Android phones and gave the iPhone 16 Pro Max or even the 15 Pro Max a pro camera mode where you can adjust things like your shutter speed and your ISO and many other things. Usually with Apple events, heavy marketing is geared towards the pro cameras, but they don't really give you the ability to control it however you want. The only way that you have any control of your camera and how far it can go is by downloading the Blackmagic camera app. This app is actually what they used in the Apple event, so even Apple themselves know for a fact that their own app can do what it needs to do. This infinitely makes the camera more fun to use because you have pro-like controls, and with the 48 megapixel lens, 4K cinematic mode, zoom options, and many more, it had a lot to live up to, and I think it does live up to its hype. I noticed that there's more depth of field on the main wide angle lens. The telephoto lens on the other hand is still very good, and I use it frequently, especially in portrait mode. The selfie camera on the iPhone is still a hit or miss in 2024. For some reason, it still makes my skin darker than it should be, and it's almost like a one-size-fits-all when it comes to Apple's computational photography. I'm not really sure why. It is great that the option to use ProRes and ProRAW is available, but I like how the video and the pictures look right out of the gate, and I don't feel the need to change any of these options. If I do record video though, it is mostly on Apple's ProRes log because it is the best way to shoot in my opinion, as it takes in much detail as possible. I have used ProRes log to shoot a ton of YouTube videos on this channel, so yes, it does come in handy if I don't want to carry out my FX30 and lenses and gimbals and all that stuff. All things considered, this is a solid camera setup and is still the best if you want to combine both picture and video at the same time in a very small form factor. And for the average consumer, this is all you're going to need if you want to create content with a solid camera. Ultimately, my experience with the iPhone 16 Pro Max has been pretty positive. I've had my ups when it comes to the cameras, the battery life, the display, the Apple ecosystem, and my overall use, and the downs when it comes to iOS 18, the lack of Apple Intelligence, amongst other things. If you have an iPhone 13 Pro Max and even below, and you're looking to upgrade, then the 16 Pro Max is a solid phone. But this is just one man's opinion, and I'd like to hear yours. Do you think Apple and the iPhone 16 Pro Max is worth it at all, or is it just the hype? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you got any value from this video. I am trying to hit 30,000 subs at the end of the year. I am currently at 23,000, so I'm ever so close. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.